Hello, everyone. I am Molly's mom, and I'm here today to read a book to you. So, we are going to read The Witch Who's Afraid of Witches. Let's just share my screen.
The witch who was afraid of witches. And we already know Maleficent doesn't approve, but frankly, she never really knows. Oh, table of contents, 5 chapters. How long is this book? Here we go. Chapter 1, The Witch Sisters. Wendy was the youngest witch in her family. It must be that one. She had the weakest witch power, and she was afraid of witches. Older, bossy, mean witches like her 2 sisters. Da, da, da. Look at that. They must be mean. This one's holding up a jar of frog toes. Her oldest sister, Polly, knew everything. She knew where to get the best sassafras wood for broomsticks and the best frog's toes for witches' brews, and she knew the best books for witches' spells, too. One day, Polly was going to the sassafras grove. Take me with you, Wendy begged. Polly said, You're too young. You don't even have the right kind of wood in your broomstick. You don't know anything, and you'll never learn. Well, no wonder he doesn't like witches. That one's pretty mean. Wendy's middle sister, Wog, I like that name, Wog, knew how to do everything best. She flew the fastest of any witch in the valley and cackled the loudest. She cackled, I'll get you. And she really got you. And she used her most frightening voice to make her spells work the best. Teach me how to say spells in that frightening voice, Wendy begged. But Wog said, Your voice is too weak. You don't even know how to cackle. Ugh. Wendy didn't even try to learn spells. They wouldn't work because, frankly, she did not have a frightening voice. At night, Wendy's sisters had parties. Wendy sat at the top of the stairs, listening to the cackles of witch laughter. She wished she could join in. Sometimes Polly saw her and shouted, Spying again? Off with you! It's past your bedtime! And Wendy crept into her cold bed, hugging her broomstick. She was afraid of the dark, afraid of witches. Sometimes she tried to make up a spell to put on her sisters, but, here's the catch. She needed them to tell her the right words. At least I have you, Wendy said to her broomstick. You give me a little witch power. Oh, that's sweet. Even though the broomstick is apparently made of the wrong wood. Then, the day before Halloween, Wendy lost her broomstick. Oh, she's a terrible witch. Oh, I can't stand this story. Well, neither of her sisters would give her another. It serves you right, they said. Wendy felt lost without it. Now, she had no witch power at all. Chapter 2, A Ghost on the Doorstep. On Halloween night, Wendy's sister said, We're going to the city where there are more people to scare. Take me with you, Wendy said, please. How can you come with us when you don't have a broomstick? Polly asked. Well, can I ride with you? No, you would make the broomstick too heavy. Stay here and don't let any trick-or-treaters in. They eat our candy and squirt shaving cream on the rug. This one's looking at herself to make sure her wart is nice and scary looking. Well, Wendy wasn't afraid of trick-or-treaters. She was much more afraid of witches, as it turns out. Well, turn off the lights, lock the door, and put out the fire, Polly said. It will look like nobody's home. Wendy did as Polly said, and she sat in the dark shivering. She wished she had her broomstick for company. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Trick-or-treat! Shouted a voice. Wendy called, There's nobody home! Somebody should have told her not to say anything at all. You're home, said a ghost on the doorstep. Well, I'm nobody. Well, is that what what you are for Halloween? Asked the ghost. Are you nobody? Yes, but I'm dressed as a witch. Why don't you come trick-or-treating with me? Asked the ghost. I'm Roger, and my best friend Billy went trick-or-treating with his other best friend. Let's follow them and scare them. Oh, that sounds good to me. Though I'm not very good at scaring people. Mostly I'm scared of witches. Oh, you'll catch on, said Roger. You just go woo, woo, woo. Hey, Roger knows how to scare people. Now, that's how ghosts go, Wendy said. Witches cackle like this. Ha ha ha, I'll get you. Very good, said Roger. You sound like a real witch. Do I? I never thought I could cackle before, but I can't be a real witch without a broomstick. I lost mine. Well, if that's all you need, we have an old one at home. Come on, said Roger. What a good ghost. Chapter 3. At Roger's house. They walked up a hill to Roger's house. Roger's mom gave Wendy a hot chocolate and a candied apple and a broomstick. Yes. Roger said, get on, let's see you ride. Well, I'm not good at riding broomsticks. She was afraid to try. I have no witch power. Well, take the broomstick anyway, he said. Can I just pause a moment to say, that looks delicious. And I'm going to have to buy like 10,000 candied apples after reading Halloween stories that only have candied apples in them. Okay, we go on. Wendy took the broomstick, but what happened? She didn't sit on it. The old kitchen broomstick wouldn't give her any witch power. Well, go on, sit on it, Roger said. It's fun. Okay, Wendy said. After all, Roger didn't expect her to do anything but pretend and have fun. So she sat on the broomstick and said, hey, 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 I'll get you. And then she gave a little jump. And she took off so fast, boom, she hit the ceiling. Ah! That must be a magic broomstick, said Roger. Here, let me try it. I bet it won't work for Roger. I bet it's only a witch. So let's see. Roger got on and said, hey, 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 I'll get you. Then he gave a little jump, but nothing happened. Darn it doesn't work, he said. Oh, I'll try it, said Roger's mother. So she sat on it and cackled, ha, and gave a little jump. But nothing happened again. I'll try again, Wendy said. Again, she took off easily. She zoomed around and round before she landed. I guess I do have a little witch power, she said. I never thought so before, but I still don't know any spells. Well, she's having a good night, so maybe this is a good spell night as well. Then, well, make one up, Roger said. You're magic. That made a really good spell pop into Wendy's head. Inspiration when somebody believes in you, you know? So she said the spell that popped into her head in a frightening voice. Frogs and lizards, toads and newts, buttons, raincoats, hiking boots. Turn this ghost into a witch. Presto, changeo, make a switch. Suddenly, Roger's robes turned black. Great, he said. I wanted to be a witch, but we didn't have any black sheets. But I need a pointed hat. Oh, that's easy, Wendy said. I don't even have to think about that one. Stew and brew, a cat and bat. Give this witch a pointed hat. Great, said Roger. Now let's fly. Well, be careful, said the new witch's mother. Don't fly too fast. We won't, they said, as Wendy stared the broomstick out the window. I have to say, this is the calmest, most understanding mother I think I've ever seen. She's completely cool with her son's instant transformation into witchdom. Going on. First, they swooped over trees and made the leaves fall off. Then they swooped into the party where Billy and his other best friend were ducking for apples. Billy and his friend were so scared they ran home crying. Suddenly, the clock struck midnight. Ding, ding. I better fly you home, Wendy said. Oh, I want to come home with you and keep on being a witch, said Roger. You are a real witch, aren't you? Oh, yes, I am a real witch with my own witch power, Wendy said. I just found that out and you helped. But I have to turn you back into a ghost and take you home. Your mother would miss you. Well, that's a very sensible position to take. His mother would miss him terribly. All right. Here comes the spell. Boiled figs and toasted toast. Turn Wendy. See you next Halloween. Wendy flew home and went to sleep without worrying about witches. She wasn't afraid of witches anymore. Oh, that's because she found her own witch power. Chapter 4. 2 strong spells. Wendy woke up. It was still dark outside and her sisters weren't home yet. It's far too late for them to be out, she said. They may be older, but they have no sense. I will have to teach them a thing or two. She took her time, making up 2 spells. They weren't as fancy as the spells her sister Polly found in books, but Wendy knew they had special power because they were her own. Snakes and cakes and pumpkin pie. Oh, the sister, you can't fly. Salt and pepper, bouncing ball. Middle sister, you will fall. Oh dear, Wendy said. I forgot to say the spells in a really frightening voice. I hope they work. An hour later, her sisters came limping home. Oh, my aching back. Oh, my tired ankles. Wendy's spells had worked. The strangest thing happened, Polly said. All of a sudden, I couldn't take off. My broomstick was too heavy. I took off, Wog said, but the wind blew my broomstick away. My broomstick blew away too, Polly said. We had to walk. Ow, my feet hurt, Wog said. I feel funny all over, as if I had lost my witch power. Now I know how you feel without your broomstick. Well, that's over now, Wendy said. I found a pretty good broomstick. Well, that's just an old kitchen broomstick, Polly said. Well, it works for me, Wendy said. Couldn't possibly, said Polly. Polly got on, but she couldn't take off. I knew it was no good, she said. Wog got on, but she couldn't take off either. But then Wendy got on and said, I'll get you, in her own voice. Then she gave a little jump. Wendy zoomed out the window and back in. She'd flown faster than her sisters ever had. What? How can it be? Polly asked. I thought I knew everything. That broomstick isn't even made of sassafras. How can it be? Wog asked. I thought I knew how to do everything best. Wendy didn't even use a frightening voice. Wendy felt sorry for her sisters. You're probably tired, she said. Get a good sleep, and tomorrow you'll be able to fly. In bed, Wendy made up 2 spells to take the spells off her sister. Older sister, you can fly. All you have to do is try. Middle sister, flying's fun. The spell I made is now undone. Our final chapter 5. 3 witches. The next day, they went to the sassafras grove to cut 2 sticks for brooms. This one is best, Polly said. Now I'll be able to fly again. And she did. Wog found another stick. She sat on it and said, Mumble, mumble, tumble, tumble, in a frightening voice. Now I'll be able to fly again. And she did. Wendy took off too on her old kitchen broomstick. Wendy never told them about her spells. It was enough to know that her older sisters thought she knew everything, but didn't. And that her middle sister thought she knew how to do everything best, but did not. And she never told them that she had found her own special witch power. She didn't have to. They knew she was different, and they treated her differently, just like one of them.
Well, thank you very much, Maleficent, for helping us today. Sometimes you need friends to help you through a story. I want to wish everyone a happy Halloween, and I hope you all look great in your costumes. I hope to put on a costume tomorrow, too.